All right. So we're going into a new cycle, into a new DNA cycle. So there's been a lot of DNA upgrades. There's been a lot of cell rejuvenation. There's been a lot of things that have been happening. In one of my other videos, I did state that we've been upgrading the first four bodies. So now we're going into the cycle where we're adding more DNAs into the other three bodies, right? So now, before we continue, the series on your source of wealth, I'm going to stop it for now. And the reason being is because there's so much information that I've said. There's not more that I can say beyond that. There is, but I'm not going to say more beyond that. Number one being, the only way for me to be able to help you unlock your source of wealth is by us doing a consultation. I would need, the only people who know how to unlock your source of wealth are your ancestors. So I can help you through comments or through coming into my inbox. The only way I will be able to help you is contacting your ancestors and talking to them on how best your source of wealth can be unlocked for you. So beyond that, I do give free videos. These are all free videos. No one gets charged for this. This is all free information. You can watch them. You can learn from them. But if you still feel like the videos are not enough, the only way to move forward is through a consultation. I can't do anything beyond what I have been doing from here. I might be told to give more lessons on that in the future. I do not know. When I'm given the go ahead, I will then do it. But everything that I say is connected and it's leading us to a bigger picture. We are starting the series of Lemuria. So now the series is for Lemuria. It's about Lemuria. All right, so let's get into it. So this series is about Lemuria. So now, if you know that you have water ancestry, you're part of the water royalty, you've seen yourself in Lemuria, you've seen yourself in Atlanta, you've had dreams where you saw yourself a lot underwater, you've had dreams where you are talking to ancestors underwater. If you have seen yourself as a mermaid and you've seen yourself as certain in conversations with certain mermaids or certain animals underwater, if you have seen yourself connected to the dragons and not the earth dragons but the water dragons, if you've seen yourself connected to umnikazi, if you call it like that, the divine spirits that watch the water realms, if you've seen yourself in dreams or visions where you're always in water, that means that you have Lemurian DNA. That means that you have Lemurian DNA. But before we can get to Lemuria, we need to go back to the beginning. We need to go back to the beginning of Earth. We need to go back to the beginning of the Sattva Yoga. Now, in the Sattva Yoga, in the beginning of the Earth, certain highly evolved spirits from other worlds came to Earth. And the reason why they were coming to Earth is the best school in the whole galaxy, in the whole universe. Earth is the best schools. It's like this is your high-grade university. This is specialistic school. This is the school where you go for a specific specialistic ability you want to develop. And so highly, highly, highly evolved beings found that the conditions of Earth would allow them to transcend and become gods. Earth is the only planet where you come to learn to become a god. They go to other planets in the beginning to learn other stuff, but when you are at the pinnacle of your godhood, you come to Earth. That's where you learn how to become gods. Hence, even why in the Bible, Jesus does say that you are gods. We are all gods because we have come here to learn how to be gods. But because Earth is such an advanced school, many don't even get to learn how to become gods. This is where you are tested to the highest of your ability. So now, highly evolved beings came to Earth and they found the condition here was amazing and they could learn how to become gods. So different beings were coming on Earth at different intervals. The ones that came in the Sattva yogas were the mostly highly evolved. And in the next yogas, until the Kali yogas, those that came, majority were not the more advanced ones. So there's been spirits that have been coming, new spirits that have been coming on Earth at different intervals. But we also have spirits that have been on Earth from the beginning and just been reincarnating and reincarnating and reincarnating. So fine. You all came to Earth at this particular time, which is to settle on Earth, and you are highly evolved beings. Let me see if I'm missing anything on my notes. And you've been here. Many of you, not all of you, many of you have been here since the first Satra Yoga. And you know the blueprint of the Satra. You know the blueprint of the Golden Age. You know how the Golden Age operate. And you are now, your purpose is to now usher in the next Golden Age, the next millennium, the next new earth. Because you've been reincarnating and reincarnating. Majority of you who hold Lemurian DNAs are ancient spirits. You are what we call old souls. You are an old soul that has been on this earth for eons and eons, and you've been reincarnating and you've been reincarnating. You are the souls that have been helping humanity to move forward until we find ourselves at the Kali Yoga, and now we are exiting the Kali Yoga and preparing to enter the Satra Yoga. If you do not know what the Kali and Satra Yogas are, go Google them or go watch the other video that I made. If you are new on this page. Fine. Now that we have found ourselves here, you guys are the leaders. You guys are what we call the generational leaders. You are the leaders in the next earth. You are the leaders in the next cycle. And the problem, as I said, is that even though a lot of spirits, highly evolved spirits came in, not all of them were able to put in the work. Not all of, because you have to forget, reincarnation comes with forgetting your purpose, comes with forgetting who you are. Your divinity, it comes in forgetting your divinity. And so many of you have forgotten your own divinity, have forgotten who you are, have forgotten your purpose, and you've forgotten so many things about what makes you special. Many of you have even forgotten the powers that you hold. And some, even now that we're in the Kali Yoga, some are just not that prepared. You just have been left behind. But there is those of you who have been doing the work. There is those of you who have been healing, those of you who have been moving forward, those of you who have been putting in the work, those of you who have been really putting in the hard work. You have been going through the Job cycle. You have been going through the tests of Job. And many of you are passing the test of Job in flying colors. And you are about to be restored 100-fold what you have lost. Through all this reincarnation, every single trial that you have faced, you are about to be restored to your full glory in the next Satra Yoga. And you guys are the leaders. You are the ones who are going to lead us forward into how do we get into the Satra Yoga. Right? You are the celestial beings that are going to help us to ascend. Now, but then in order for us to get to that point, you need to raise your vibration. So the Lemurian descendant, the Lemurian old souls, the Lemurian celestial beings, the Lemurian leaders, you guys are also part of the 144. So you guys need to come and raise your vibration, because we're going into a season of new DNAs. We're going into a season of new DNA upgrades. And this is not an easy season, because we are just at the last days before we enter, and we need your DNAs. And I'm going to explain why we need your DNAs. All right. So now let's get into, let me see. I made notes, guys. Today I have to read. There's a lot that I need to cover. So there's notes as the channels were coming through. So now there's a regeneration of cells and DNA upgrades that will automatically raise the vibration of the earth. So as we go through the regenerations of cells and DNA upgrades, new DNAs are coming through. Where are these DNAs coming from? Majority of these DNAs, as I said in one of my videos, is that, majority of these DNAs are coming from the planets that you come from. Right? And this DNAs needs to anchor on earth through you. But you need to raise your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, and your astral body's vibration. And the steps that I'm coming into right now, this is how we raise our vibration. So now many of you, the information that I'm sharing, please use it, take it with a grain of salt. Go pray about it before you start implementing anything. Right. Now, you are called, in order for you to raise your vibration, you also need to change your diet. And we are going into a season where there will be intense DNA upgrades. And within that season, there needs to be alterations to our diets for us to be able to handle the DNAs that are coming through. Number one is that we need to change our diets. And how do we change our diets? We adjust the milk that we are taking. If you take cow's milk, it needs to be organic milk coming directly from the cow. Not preservatives, not put on a shelf, not found in the shops. And you need to take, or if it's not cow's milk, it's goat's milk. Still, no preservatives, no nothing. And I know what I'm saying. This is hard. Many people don't even know where to find such milk. It's fine. If you can't find it, take it out, leave it out. This is what you use your discernment and say, this I can't find, so I'm going to leave it. And then, so now, if you can find it, if you still live in the rural, some of you have cows. Okay, let me get into it. I'll get into that part later. All right, if you can't find it, you leave it. Number two, the reason why we are changing our milk is because the milk that we are drinking, pure organic milk, provides your muscles with structure and strength. And this is why we are changing the milk from organic cow or goat's milk. Right? Number two, some of you will be asked by your ancestors. Some of you might actually be asked by your ancestors to leave milk completely, because then it's a tedious process to find the milk. But if it's important for your DNA, then they will make a way for you to find the milk. Yeah. And then some of you will be asked to start eating more seeds and nuts. And the message when it came, they said life-giving seeds, meaning a seed that you can take and put in the ground, and a tree, a plant, a flower, or whatever will come through. So the seeds that you will need to be eating more of are life-giving seeds and nuts. Now, I'm not saying go to a store and start buying seeds. Let me give you an example of how I eat my seeds. Every household in South Africa, we eat pumpkin. Once a week, many of us eat pumpkin, butternut, or squashes. What you do is that when you buy pumpkin, butternut, or squash, you take the seeds and you put them aside. And then once I've put the seeds aside, I then put them in water. I soak them for 24 hours in water with sea salt. I let them soak, because when you soak your seeds, you allow them, it will be easier for the stomach to digest them. I soak them in water. After I've soaked them in water, I let them dry. And then once they've dried, I then either fry them with coconut oil, or I air fry them. Or you can put them in a pan and shove them in the oven. That will do. And you put a little bit of salt on them, and that's how you eat your seeds. There, that's it. Now you're eating seeds. So now I'm not saying go out of your way and find things and now start spending a lot of money. No. I eat a handful of seeds every week. Once a week, I eat a handful of seeds. And I don't need to spend anything outside of my budget. We already buy 4 or 5 butternuts. Butternut is not expensive. It's about 10 rand. It's 10 rand, 15 rand. You then take that butternut, keep the seeds. Every time you cook butternut, you soak the seeds, you dry them, and you keep them in a container for when you are ready to cook them. By the end of the month, you could find yourself with a whole container full of seeds. And that's how you eat seeds. So that means that also in your diet, then change to more squashes and butternuts, and have more veggies that have seeds in them. That's how you eat seeds. So we are going to a season where many of you might start seeing yourself eating seeds, or your ancestors asking you to eat seeds. This might come through in a consultation where you're given specific seeds that you need to eat. And the reason why you are given these seeds is because the seeds are supposed to strengthen your nervous system and give your body vigor. And they invigorate the body. It is important for your nervous system to be strengthened, because the high vibrations and the DNAs that are coming can be too much for the nervous system. So it is important that your nervous system is regulated. All right. The third thing is that you might be asked, some of you, it will come in a dream or a consultation or through what, but you might be asked to eat more honey. Eat more raw honey. Honey is important because honey actually protects and nourishes the body. It has enzymes that kill parasites within your body as well. Some of you will also be asked to bathe with honey. You will be asked to bath with honey as well. So in your cleansing, you might be asked to add honey in it. Right? Now, I want to get into... that's my hand. I need to invest in a stena. Now, let's get into the seasons. So we're going into winter. In our hemisphere, we're going into winter. In another hemisphere, they're going into summer. So you will eat those things differently in different seasons. For those that are going into winter, you will drink more milk, the organic milk, eat more seeds, You will drink milk, eat seeds and nuts, and then use more honey. When it's cold, you use more honey. You drink milk, you eat the seeds and the nuts. And then now, in what is it called? In summer, you change the diet. When we go into heat, when we go into fire, when we go into more hot weathers, we change the diets. You eat more fruits. You eat fruits, a little honey, and a little seeds and nuts. You eat a little of them, but you eat more fruits. And then you do not take milk, or you consume it at a little level, but you do not take milk. You keep it to a minimum, or either don't take it. This process, these foods that I'm talking about, will allow your body to be ready for the DNA. It will allow your body to be full and to be strong enough to access the DNAs that are coming, because there are powerful DNAs that are coming. The other thing that I was told to tell you guys about, if you come from Lemuria, it is important. There's certain things that you need to watch how you eat. Number one, we don't eat in the morning. You eat when the sun is at its peak. You eat when the sun is at its peak. That's when you have your first meal. It's a cycle. I'll go into it. And you will find that many people who are connected to water ancestry can't stomach food in the morning. And also, if they do it in the morning, they find themselves in a situation where they get tired easily. After eating, you feel tired, you lose energy. So hence, it's important, if you know that you have water ancestors and you walk with prominent water gift, that you only eat when the sun is at its peak. That's your 12. That's your 11, 12, and 1. That's when you have your first meal. For breakfast, many of you can just have tea and water. That will be sufficient. I do not eat. I have not been eating breakfast for years. Instead, I even prefer brunches over breakfast dates or meet up with friends or whatever. Right? So that's number one. Because then you won't lose as much energy. And I even know, even with me in consultations, I channel easier on an empty stomach than I do when my stomach is full. Right? So now, also, you might also start being asked by your ancestors to not have meals after 6 p.m. So meaning that you will eat from 11 until 6. But when it gets dark, you do not have any meals. And if you are eating if you are eating around about 6, it needs to be a light meal, more liquids and more light meal. Now, the reason for this is because majority of the DNA upgrades are going to happen at night when you are sleeping. Majority of them are going to happen at night, and your body is not supposed to be heavy because you come from water. Your body needs to be light. So with the DNAs that are coming, you need to be in a light mode. Your bodies need to be light. And many of you are not dreaming because you when you go to sleep, you go on a full stomach. And the dreams are coming, you wake up, you don't remember them. Sometimes you don't remember your dreams because you had steak at 9. And you are from Lemuria, where people didn't eat red meat. Your DNA is from Lemuria. You get what I mean? So you will be asked to not have meals. Your last meals must be light meals, and that are more liquid or light liquids or whatever, light food. And you do not eat at night. I do that every day. I have my first meal at 12 or 11. I have my last meal at 5. Every single day religiously, that's what I do. I even would have my last tea around about 6 past 6, 7, and then I don't have anything after that. And I will not feel hungry, and I will not, in the morning, I'll wake up, just make tea or make electrolyte water, and I'm done. By the time it's 11, I'm hungry, now I eat. It is doable, and you can do it. And you need to do it because now the DNA upgrades will happen a lot at night, and they need your body to be light. Right? That's when the DNA upgrades and the cell rejuvenation will happen. The other thing, you are asked to make sure that you take the vibration of the sun. How do you take the vibration of the sun? When the sun, at the afternoon sun, they say that in the afternoon sun, when the sun is out, on days that we have sun, today we don't have sun where I am, on days that we have sun, when the sun is out, you go outside. not at the peak, but in the afternoon sun, just before it sets, or run about in the afternoon. You go outside and you stand in the sun with your foot bare. Then you allow the vibrations and energy from the sun to come into you. We have many people who wear those red masks, right? Those what mask that are red, and they put them on their face. Sunsets is the same thing. Sitting and watching a sunset, you're getting the same vibration that they put in those masks. So you were asked to get those, in order for you to get more vibration from the sun, you were asked to do that. Now, let me see. I know there's something else. Oh yes. And then you need to do this in the afternoon sun, and you need to try and do it at least 3 times in a week. Okay, 3 times a week. Okay, the reason why we are doing this is because we are starting to work with more the vibrational body, the energetic body, and the essence body, and the spirit body. And those work on vibrations, those work on energy. And there's a lot of influx of energies that are going to be coming towards the earth, and your body needs to be prepared for it. And these are the energies that have been around for millions and millions and millions of years. So your body needs to be prepared for those energies. The vital rays from the other planets are also going to be coming in. So I'm making a lot of examples, and I say if you're Palladian, if you're Viserian, if you're Saturnarian, that's the planet that your original body comes from. It will be your essence body. That's where your essence body would come from, right? So the vibrations from those planets are going to start anchoring on Earth. But they anchor through the people who have the same DNA as the vibration. So the vibration will come into your crown chakras and go all the way down towards your chakras until the base, and come out and anchor on the earth. And we need those vibrations to be able to anchor the earth, because as we upgrade our DNA and rejuvenate ourselves, regenerate ourselves, the earth is also upgrading its DNA and rejuvenating itself. And this will allow for the ascension to happen. But we need the anchoring of those energies from those other planets to balance us and the earth, so that when the transition happens, we are not out of balance. Right? And so they are called vital rays. They are coming, and they will use, that's why you need to be going through the steps where you are taking certain seeds, honey, certain types of milk, where you are eating certain food, where you are eating at certain times, where you are not eating at certain times, where your body is lighter, because those rays are powerful. And they are coming. We need to anchor. It's the same thing. In order for the earth to elevate into a higher dimension, it needs to be anchoring on something. And those are the rays that it will be anchored on. Dolores Cannon calls it and says that the earth will go into a split. She says that there will be a split where the earth will split into 2. One is the old earth and the other one is the new earth. If that's true, for the split to happen, there needs to be an anchoring that will shift the new earth. There needs to be an anchoring for the new earth to come, for the millennium to anchor itself in. Right? Let me see on my notes. Okay. Now moving on to the next point. The next point is that you also need to, if you're Lemurian, if you know that you're Lemurian, you also need to visit more water bodies. You need to go to the water on a regular. There's a reason why you need to go to the water. In the Lemurian era, a lot of temples, the highly evolved beings will come and they will build temples. And majority of these temples were built around caves, or they would make a cave in a mountain or cave somewhere, and temples will be built around the cave. Now, what will happen is that each highly evolved beings from different planets. Let's say if you're Palladian, the Palladians will have their own temples at a certain spot. The Venusian will have their own temples at a certain spot. People think Lemuria was in one area of the world and that's how it ended. No, that's not how, and then it sank from that. That's not how it ended. The Lemurians covered a huge part of the earth. And so what they would do is that they would build these temples, and these temples of gold and have all these things. And the high vibration of those planets, of the Palladian, will come because the Palladians will come and build their own temple here on earth. The highly evolved beings, the highly evolved Palladians, will come and build their temple here. And that's where anyone who's from Palladia who needs to come and reincarnate will come through that temple. Any soul will come through that temple. And then what happens is that the vibrations of those temples would be so high. When it reaches a certain point that the vibrations are way too high, what they would then do is that they would remove everything out of the temple. And then they will cover the temples. And then they will direct streams of water to be over that temple. That's how the sinking started happening. Then they will cover that particular temple point with water. And so now majority of those old Lemurian temples are sitting in different parts of the world underwater. And they act as a portal. They act as portals. Not only do they act as portals, but they also act as energetic portals where the beings from those planets use those portals access to come in and out of the earth. Now you, as a Palladian who was in Lemurian, you will be directed by your ancestors. That's why you find certain ancestors will tell you to go to a specific spot. You might find the river is long, but they want a particular spot. They say that's the spot that you go in. So even now, those temples are still underwater and vibrating. And certain spots in certain rivers and certain oceans have the energy of those temples, are vibrating at the energy of those temples. And when you go there and you go wash and you go cleanse near that particular point, you are invigorating your body. Not only that, you are putting new codes into your DNA and you are aligning with your essence and your true self. Hence, that's why sometimes many of you, the minute you get into the water, you just can't stand it. Many of you, the minute you get into the water, your gifts, they start to come rushing down. Some of you, in order for your gifts to be open fully, you need to go to those water because that's where your access point is. That's why some of you have went for multiple ocean cleansings and river cleansings, and still today you don't know what you're doing because you are not going to the right spot. You are not going to the right places that are in alignment with your DNA. So your ancestors are supposed to tell you which spots you're supposed to be going through so that you can access those energies from the Lemurian temples that are buried underwater. And when you are close to it, when you're close to that place, if maybe it's a place that's a distance from where you live, when you're close to that place, you're supposed to meet the guardians of that place. In a dream, they will come and present themselves and greet you and say, hi, how are you? Or the night before, you will start dreaming of that place. You will start seeing the dolphins. You will start seeing, after your cleansing, the dolphins will come or a whale will pass or whatever. But this will be a sign to you that you are in the right spot. That's where you get your divine guidance. They made it like that so that you, when you keep on reincarnating, those places when you go through, that's where you get your divine guidance and knowledge. That's where you access higher dimensions. Someone also asked, how do I access the Akasha records in one of my things? That's part of how, it's not the only way, but that's part of how you access the Akasha records. You go and you connect, because the mensaries, the temples in those places, what they would do, they would write books and teachings that were given by the higher beings. And then they will then bend the books so that they can go into the Akasha records. So part of you accessing the Akasha records of the temple that you belonged to is going to the spot where the temple's vibrations are the same as your DNA. And you will then, bathing with that water that has the same vibration, then you will then be able to access the Akasha records on a regularly in your dreams first. And eventually you will get to a point where you are taught how to access them without going to sleep. All right. Now, in these places, after they would put water, what then they would do is that they would put guardians, the guardians of the waters. That's how the term of the guardians of the water came through. Majority of the guardians of the water, they disguise themselves in because those portals are very powerful. And demonic spirits could do powerful things on that portal. So to protect the portals, they will put guardians around the water bodies that have those energies. And the guardians would appear as birds, they would appear as animals, they would appear as certain things. I've had experiences where I was taking someone to the water, and as we're doing their cleansings, some birds will start coming and circling them. Or maybe there's this one incident where a chicken came out of nowhere, and it came as if like it was assessing what we are doing there. Some people will say, yeah, but it's witchcraft. But if you are spiritually in tune, you would understand that this is a guardian of the water. Many of you have encountered the guardians of the water. Majority of them, they stay on trees and they guard. And if you have a clairvoyant that's fully open, you will see that place, the energy around that place acts itself as fire. So sometimes when I'm sure some of you have had this experience, when you go towards the river or the ocean or something, especially in rivers or secluded places, and you're sitting, it feels as if like there's a fire around that area. Some of you have seen fires burning around that area, and you're asking yourself, but how is the fire on water? Why is the fire on water? How is that possible? Especially if you go in a time when there's not a lot of people. Personally, when I go to the oceans, when I go to the river, I don't just go out of my own free will. I have to be called there. And even if I'm taking someone, we ask for permission. Then we ask for permission, and I'll get a clear date as to you going on this day. And then I'll know that the guardians of that place are waiting for me. And I have nothing to fear, and the service will go well for this person, and what they need, they will get. And when we are done, sometimes when we are there still busy, I'll feel someone say, finish up, your time is up. And that's when now we move out quickly. This is where the term about umnikazi wasimanzini came from. So this place appears, many of the vibration around those areas, it appears as fire. When you see it, it's as if like you're seeing fire. That's why God said to Moses saw a burning bush that was burning, but it was not burning. And when he approached, and when he was inquisitive to see, but why is the bush burning, but it's not dying? Then God said, Moses, take off your shoes, because the place that you're standing on is holy ground. It's full of vibration. What makes a place holy is the vibration, the energies, the divine energies and vibrations that are on that place. And Moses took off his shoes and knelt down and started praying. So also you, when you go to these body waters, you need to be purposeful, ask for permission, and understand that you are standing on holy ground, and you are there to get vibrations to invigorate your body. You are there to get vibrations and codes that will allow you to access the Akashian records, to get vibrations. You're accessing the Akashian records because you're trying to remember who you are. You are trying to access the knowledge that you've had from eons and eons and eons. Okay, I need to see if I'm missing anything because I'm talking here. Many of you have told me that I talk too fast, and then I start certain things, I don't finish them. So I make notes so that I can structure myself and be able to pace myself with the messages, and I don't speak too fast. Okay, so now everything that I've said in this video is to help you prepare yourself for the new earth. We are preparing ourselves for the anchoring of the new earth. We are preparing ourselves for the highest elevation. We are preparing ourselves for the new earth and the 3D, the 5D. We are preparing ourselves for moving forward. And everything that we are doing, the DNA upgrades, all these things, it is the preparations that we are doing. But your body is still human. Your body is still physical, and it needs to be adjusted. It needs to be upgraded. Just like how I made an example, like a phone. You can't take a Nokia phone and say that you want to update the latest iPhone software. It doesn't work like this. Just like how we have different operating systems, so as all of us have different operating systems from our own original planets. We don't all operate on the same system. We don't all operate on the same vibrations. We don't all operate on the same timeline. Just like how I'm using an Android, you're using an iPhone, the other one is using Huawei, the other one is using something. Our operating system are differently. They don't operate the same, and we go through periodically upgrading of our phone, and it needs to be upgraded on a regular. And this is where it comes from. And there comes a time when the current phone that you're using does not align with the new operating system. So meaning the body that you have does not align with the vibrations that are coming from your original planet. So it needs to be upgraded. You need to then upgrade into a new version phone. That's now where the DNA upgrades are coming to. The bodies that we are holding do not align with the new earth. The cellular structures of our bodies do not align with the new earth. And this is the reason why we upgrading our DNAs and restructuring and rejuvenating ourselves. This is the whole purpose, so that we can be able to build a new body that is in alignment with the new earth and the vibrations of the new earth. And in that way, we will all then be able to ascend. If you believe in the Bible, then you will follow what the Bible says. But there's all over the world, there's different ways of how the new earth is going to come. And we will be able to ascend into the new earth. All right. I think I'm going to stop here. But this is the first series of Lemurian. And then we'll get into more series as we go. I think the next series we're covering the priesthood.